Hello, watchers, listeners, and subscribers. Uh, it is I, Josie DeMarco, and so I'm just gonna give some miscellaneous film recommendations. Um, I'm gonna talk about 5 movies. Um, uh, Starting with The Admirable Crichton from 1957, directed by Lewis Gilbert. On IMDb, it goes by the title Parasite Lagoon, which is a stupid title. It makes it sound like a Poseidon Adventure knockoff or a continuation of the Beach Blanket Bingo series. This is based on a play by J.M. Barrie, the author of Peter Pan, and a play that I actually read prior to watching the film on Tubi, and I have to say it's a very quite faithful adaptation. So Bill Crichton, played by Kenneth More, is a butler for the Loams, an aristocratic family. Earl Loam, the family patriarch, preaches about the equality between those privileged like him, uh, and his family and his servants. It's all very performative to make himself look good. Nobody else is on the same page as him. Although Crichton wants to be treated with respect, he knows where he stands socioeconomically speaking, and he is content and grateful for where he is on the social ladder, if you will. And the Loams also have a maid named Eliza, aka Tweenie. They call her that because she's an in-between maid. She has some trouble communicating with the upper class people, and Loam has 3 daughters named Mary, Catherine, and Agatha. Catherine gets arrested for participating in a suffragette protest, and then Crichton suggests that they take a vacation on their yacht to let the sensationalism regarding the story tame down. And then Lord Loam has 3 daughters. Lord Loam's nephew, Ernest Woolley, I believe his nephew, the Reverend John Treherne, and Crichton and Tweenie all go on a yacht trip together. But their plans get thwarted when they are shipwrecked on an island, and Loam's assertions about so-called equality of social classes are indeed questioned. Because of his efficiency and resourcefulness, Crichton essentially becomes the leader of the group on the island. They begin calling him Governor, and through his leadership, the shipwrecked aristocratic crew is forced to adapt to nature. And this is such a sharp class warfare satire, and it's a commentary on how snotty aristocratic types can undervalue meaningful work. Crichton and Tweenie find meaning and purpose through doing labor and tasks. And on the other hand, life for the rich, snooty aristocrats is dependent upon status, where they don't have to do anything but show off their status, have parties, and live a life of 100% convenience. You could call it a mix of Lord of the Flies, The Importance of Being Earnest, and a bit of My Man Godfrey. And this would also make one hell of a double feature with Triangle of Sadness. I wonder if Ruben Östlund has seen this film. The Admirable Crichton is, as I said, is currently available to watch for free on Tubi. This would be a perfect indicator release. I could just totally see like an indicator cover on it. Yeah. So that's The Admirable Crichton. Next up is King Boxer from 1972, directed by Jiang Chang Hua. Also, it was released in the US under the title Five Fingers of Death, but I think the King Boxer title is much better. Cho Chi-hao is an aspiring up-and-coming martial artist taught by his long-term mentor, Master Sung Woo Yang. He and his master's daughter, Ying Ying, have known each other for a long time and have fallen in love. Then Chi-hao attends a martial... let me... bear with me here. Let me just double check the cast for King Boxer, because I believe that the guy, the actor played the protagonist, was quite prolific martial arts actor. Yes. Um, Wong Lap Tat, known by his stage name Lo Lee, was an Indonesian-born Hong Kong actor, martial artist, and filmmaker. He was a star of Shaw Brothers martial arts films during the 70s. Yes. I was correct. Uh, and then, so, uh, uh, Chi Hao attend, as I said, he and Ying Ying have known each other for a long time as best friends and have fallen in love. And then Chi Hao attends a martial arts school and is instructed by Master Shen Ching Pei. And a major tournament is happening between them and another rival school. That school's master, Meng Tong Shan, is contemptible and lacks moral principles. As means of securing his son's tournament victory, he enlists 3 samurais from Japan with zeroing in on Chi Hao. It's up to Chi Hao to thwart such scheming and bring justice. However, he has to overcome the ultimate test when his hands are broken. And King Boxer, this film is such a classic. In addition to having fantastic fight choreography, it's an emotional coming of age arc for our protagonist in terms of, overcoming obstacles and establishing a moral code and staying true to the ones he holds closest to his heart. Quentin Tarantino took a music cue from this and incorporated it into Kill Bill. It goes like, it's the one that goes like, you'll know it when you hear it. So yeah, that's King Boxer. It's awesome, and it's available to watch on Prime Video and Plex as of now. Next up is a movie I had seen before a long time ago, and then I rewatched it a couple weeks ago and really enjoyed it upon rewatch, and that's Moon Over Parador from 1988, directed by Paul Mazursky. Jack Noah, played by Richard Dreyfuss, is a working actor. He gets an acting opportunity in the fictional South American country Parador, whose dictator dies. And then Roberto Strausman, played by Raul Julia, the dictator's former executive hand, tasks Richard Dreyfuss's character with disguising himself as the dictator. And Raul Julia basically guides Richard Dreyfuss with mastering his performance, and the people of Parador actually believe him to be the dictator. He forms a romance with the deceased dictator's mistress, Madonna, played by Sonia Braga, and despite temporarily filling the shoes of a fascist ruler, Jack Noah slash Richard Dreyfuss actually starts genuinely kind of caring for the people of Parador. And this is a wonderfully charming satire that comments on the performative nature of PR in government. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. As of now, Moon Over Parador is not available to stream for free, so try to get a copy of from your library, but this would be perfect as a Kino release. I could totally see Kino Lorber putting this out. Next up is Shepherd of the Hills from 1941, directed by Henry Hathaway. An Ozark moonshiner named Matt Matthews, played by John Wayne, has an obsessive grudge against his father, whom he's never met, and is believed that he abandoned her and left to her death in childbirth. A man named Daniel Howitt, played by Harry Carey, arrives in their little mountain town. He gets acquainted with Matt and his girlfriend Sammy, and Howitt purchases a piece of land that used to belong to John Wayne's character's mother, referred to as the land. It was called Monin Meadow. And those in the community call it a haunted place, and this is the origin of the idea of the Matthews moonshiner family curse. And despite being against Howard acquiring his mother's land, he and Matt become friendly with one another. And even though Matt has his suspicions, they still try to get along as well as they can. And then um, Ma- Matt's lover, Sammy, discovers some shocking information about Howitt and his past. I don't want to go beyond that, but I will say this is a very rich and emotionally resonant narrative about forgiveness and healing from generational trauma. It also has gorgeous scenery of the Ozarks and really great John Wayne performance. Uh, they're the main trio of actors. They're all excellent. Harry Carey and um, actress who played uh, Sam Sammy. Let me look that up. Sorry, guys. Shepherd of the Hills. Betty Field. Um, yeah. So unfortunately, Shepherd of the Hills is not available to stream anywhere, not even to rent on Amazon, but I would imagine DVDs and Blu-rays would be available through your library systems. I myself rented a Kino Lorber Blu-ray via Interloan. Um, so yeah, that's Shepherd of the Hills. And finally, this is a big one. This is a film that I'm still thinking about after watching it about uh um a month or almost I think like a month almost a month ago. I watched I don't remember exactly when I watched it, but it was this but it's a really fantastic one, and that's To Sleep with Anchor from 1990, written and directed by Charles Burnett. Gideon and Susie, played by Paul Butler and Mary Alice, live in South Central of LA, and they have two sons named Junior and Sammy, aka Big Babe Brother. They're played by Carl Lumbly and Richard Brooks. Because Sammy slash Babe Brother and his wife Linda, played by Cheryl Lee Ralph from Abbott Elementary, who's absolutely amazing here, uh, have that they have a son named Sonny, and Junior is the more maturely stable of the two sons, while Babe Brother slash Sammy is more reckless. Because Sammy and uh, Linda um, um, do a lot of the caretaking um, for Sonny, they Gideon and Susie uh, do. Let me start all over again. Because Sammy and Linda are busy with their day jobs, Gideon and Susie do a lot of caretaking for Sonny. Sorry, guys. Harry, played by Danny Glover, or Old Harry, he's also called Old Harry, a former friend of the family whom they haven't seen in several years, drops by, and Gideon and Susie welcome him into their home. Initially, he is charming and entertaining. But unfortunately, matters take a wild turn as Harry incites trouble for the family. Danny Glover's character has a devilish supernatural aura, and while Gideon is sick and bedridden, Harry attempts to take on the patriarchal role. He even flirts with Susie. Harry tries to be buddy-buddy with Sammy slash Babe Brother, taking full advantage of his weak self-conceptual issues, as well as knowing, his past history of recklessness. And he shows him cheating tricks with card playing, and Harry's encouragement of Sammy slash Babe Brother to give into temptation and his rebellious side incites further friction between him and Junior as well as Linda. Harry brings out the absolute worst in the family. It's literal possessiveness. He is like he is like an amplifier of every issue that was already present in the family. And the supernatural elements are less overtly explicit as they are in Southern Gothic films like Eve's Bayou or Angel Heart, but the sinister, macabre tone of dread Charles Burnett establishes as we get to know Harry is how you know you're no longer watching a straightforward family drama, but a full-on horror film. The narrative is constructed like a roller coaster ride with a ticking time bomb towards all hell breaking loose. You know that matters are off when Old Harry arrives, but the film is unpredictable as far as Harry's mischief unfolds. And that is what makes the narrative all the more sinister. There are many ways to interpret To Sleep with Anger. It could be read as an allegory for generational gaps in dealing with generational trauma. Um, After the Great Migration, many African Americans lost interest in folklore, and quite a few film critics and scholars have asserted that Harry emulates the classic trickster archetype from both African and Native American mythologies, for that matter. Gideon and Susie have one foot in modernity and assimilation, and the other foot in past nostalgia as well as, trauma. And Junior wants no affiliation with the South. He has the objective to be as consistently stable as a working class citizen as he can. And like his parents, Babe Brother is also caught in the middle. He scoffs at Junior's upstanding attitudes of morality, but simultaneously, Babe Brother is not necessarily thinking in his head, oh, I want to go back to the good old days. Rather, Harry becomes a role model for Babe Brother, albeit not a positive one at all, setting the example that the chaotic Southern lifestyle he lives is one to inhabit. Another way you can interpret the film is as an examination of the importance of interpersonal communication. Unaddressed or unexpressed traumas and resentments that build up over time manifest themselves in destructively harmful ways. In this case, it is the form of Old Harry. That's what I meant by him being an amplifier. Performance wise, Danny Glover and the whole ensemble cast are absolutely fantastic. Nobody could evoke such a chilling demeanor for this character better than Danny Glover. Um, it's uh, it's certainly but it's certainly his best performance. To Sleep with Anger is available to watch on Tubi, YouTube, and there is a Criterion Blu-ray. It could be circulated in your library system. Seek the film out. It's a masterpiece. So yeah, those are just some miscellaneous film recommendations. I'll be doing some more as the days go by. Uh, and yeah, thank you all for watching. Summer's coming. Uh, if you want to check out more of my videos, click the like button and subscribe. And I also write poetry on my Instagram page, Positive Poems. Once again, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.